You've felt it, haven't you? That fire inside, that hunger, that ambition, that voice telling you you were meant for more. And yet, for reasons you can't explain, your life doesn't match the intensity of what you feel inside. You set goals, you plan, you dream, you motivate yourself. You tell yourself, this time I'm serious. Maybe you even start strong. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. But then the momentum fades. Your energy crashes. Your old patterns return. Your progress dissolves. Your vision drifts further away, like something you can see but never touch. And you're left asking yourself questions that echo in the quiet moments. Why do I want so much, but achieve so little? Why do I have the desire, but not the results? Why does ambition burn hot, while my life stays cold? Why does it feel like something inside me is working against me? You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're not unmotivated. You're just running into a truth that almost nobody talks about. Ambition doesn't change your life. Identity does. Because ambition is conscious. Identity is subconscious. Ambition is a spark. Identity is the wiring. Ambition is what you want. Identity is what you believe you deserve. Ambition tries to push you forward. Identity pulls you back to what feels familiar. This is why you can want success with your whole heart and still sabotage it with your whole mind. This is why you can dream big and live small. This is why you can know you're capable while acting like you're not. Ambition pushes. Identity anchors. And if your identity is anchored in old beliefs, old patterns, old wounds, old fear, old limits, it will not let you rise. Not because it hates you, but because it thinks it's protecting you. The truth is simple. Your life doesn't rise to the level of your ambition. It rises to the level of your identity. And until you understand this, you'll keep burning with desire while repeating the same life. But once you do understand it, once you see how identity, self-worth, and emotional safety shape everything you allow yourself to become, your entire reality begins to shift. In Part 2, you'll see the deeper truth, why ambition without inner alignment will always collapse. To understand why ambition never seems to be enough, you must understand something deeper, something that shapes every decision, every reaction, every pattern in your life. Your nervous system does not care about your goals. It cares about your safety. Your ambition says, I want more. Your nervous system says, more is unfamiliar. Your ambition says, I want success. Your nervous system says, success is unpredictable. Your ambition says, I want to rise. Your nervous system says, rising means risk. This is why ambition burns bright but burns out fast, because your desire and your inner wiring are speaking two completely different languages, and the nervous system always overrides ambition, not because it wants to sabotage you, but because it was built to keep you alive, not fulfilled. Here is the truth that quietly explains your entire life. You were conditioned for comfort, not expansion. You were conditioned for survival, not success. You were conditioned to avoid pain, not pursue possibility. You were conditioned to repeat the familiar, not create the extraordinary. So when your ambition rises, when you want something bigger, brighter, bolder, better, your nervous system sees it as a threat, and your subconscious activates its defenses. Procrastination, self-doubt, overthinking, fear, avoidance. I'll do it tomorrow. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. Not because you lack ambition, not because you lack motivation, not because you lack discipline, but because your subconscious identity does not match the future you're trying to create. It's like trying to run high-level software on old hardware. The system crashes. Your identity, your self-worth, your familiar emotional patterns, they all come from your past, not your future. They were built from childhood dynamics, early experiences, emotional wounds, what you were praised for, what you were punished for, what you were told you were, what you had to be to survive. And this early wiring becomes the baseline self your brain tries to protect. If you learn to stay small, growth feels dangerous. If you learn to stay quiet, visibility feels unsafe. If you learn that success brings pain, you'll block it. If you learn that failure is familiar, you'll recreate it. Your ambition says, let's go farther. Your identity says, but this is who we are. Your ambition says, I'm ready for more. Your nervous system says, more is unsafe. Your ambition says, I want the next level. Your subconscious says, you're not the person who lives there. And your life will always match your subconscious identity, not your conscious ambition. Here is the breakthrough moment. Ambition creates desire. Identity creates behavior. Behavior creates reality. This is why you can want everything, but only receive what your identity believes is normal. This is why ambition sparks change, but identity sustains it. This is why ambition fires you up, but identity shapes your follow-through. And this is why people say, I know what to do, but they still don't do it, because the nervous system is not aligned with the ambition. Ambition is the accelerator. Identity is the engine. The nervous system is the steering wheel. When they are misaligned, your life can't move forward. In Part 3, we step into the shift, the identity awakening that finally makes ambition and inner alignment move in the same direction. There is a moment in every transformation where everything becomes clear, where you suddenly feel, not just understand, why you struggled for so long. It happens the instant you realize you've been trying to build a future with the identity of your past. Your ambition is trying to pull you upward, but your identity has been anchored by old experiences and old emotional patterns that don't match where you're going. You can feel the future calling you, the life you want, the person you could be, the version of you who actually follows through, who actually believes, who actually rises. But the identity you've carried is built from who you had to be to survive your past. You learn to shrink. You learn to doubt. You learn to hesitate. You learn to self-protect. You learn not to expect too much. You learn to play small because small felt safe. And now, for the first time, you're awakening to the truth. Your ambition is not the problem. Your old identity is. Ambition isn't supposed to carry your whole life. It's supposed to ignite it. Identity is what sustains it. And this is the moment you begin letting go of the identity that was built from survival so you can step into the identity built for expansion. Feel this. You are not the unworthy version of yourself you learned to be. You are not the fearful version that childhood shaped. You are not the small version your environment reinforced. You are not the hesitant version your nervous system clung to. You are not the limited version your past normalized. Those were temporary identities, identities built from adaptation, not from truth. And now you stand at a threshold. You can continue being the version of you that your past created, or you can become the version your future requires. This is the identity awakening, the moment you stop fighting for the old you and start rising into the new you, The moment you stop saying, "This is just who I am," and start saying, "This is who I am becoming." The moment you understand that identity isn't something you discover, it's something you create, and your life will always rise to meet the identity you choose. This is where ambition and identity meet. Your future self, the one you imagine, is not a fantasy, it's a blueprint, a neurological, emotional, and spiritual blueprint of who you're meant to become. And when you begin acting from that identity instead of the identity of your past, your entire nervous system reorganizes. Because your nervous system doesn't change when you force yourself to do hard things. It changes when you embody the version of you who naturally does them. Hear this. You don't grow into your future, you grow from it. You don't move toward your new identity, you operate from it. You don't wait until you feel ready, you act as the person who is ready. This is how identity rewrites behavior. This is how behavior rewrites belief. This is how belief rewrites your entire life. And now that you see it, now that you feel it, you're ready for the first practical step that aligns your ambition with the identity of your future self. In Part 4, you learn the simple but powerful shift that begins this transformation immediately. Here's the truth most people never realize. Your life doesn't change when you push harder. It changes when you start acting from the identity that already has what you want. Not later, not someday, not after you fix yourself. Today, right now, in one tiny controlled action that begins reprogramming your nervous system to believe it is safe to expand. Because your nervous system doesn't need pressure. It needs proof, not overwhelming proof, not a perfect day, not an extreme transformation, just one small moment that contradicts who you used to be and affirms who you're becoming. So here is the first step. Take one action today from the identity of your future self, not your past self. This sounds simple, but it is one of the most powerful neurobiological shifts you can make. Let's walk through it. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Now ask yourself this question and let the first answer rise. What is one small action the version of me I am becoming would take today? Not the overwhelmed version of you, not the scared version, not the conditioned version, not the version shaped by your past, the future you, the aligned you, the abundant you, the version of you who lives the life your ambition sees. Your mind already knows the answer. It rises quietly. It feels like a tiny pull forward. Maybe it's sending one message, cleaning one corner of your environment, writing one paragraph, taking one walk, making one decision, finishing one tiny task, drinking water instead of self-soothing, practicing 2 minutes of stillness, starting the thing you have avoided, stopping one behavior that drains you. The size doesn't matter, the direction does. Here's why this works. Your subconscious identity doesn't respond to big declarations. It responds to small, repeatable proof. When you take one action from your future self, something profound happens. Your nervous system realizes that expansion is safe, and the moment something becomes safe, your brain stops resisting it. Your fear softens. Your hesitation decreases. Your self-doubt loses volume. Your inner critic weakens. Your old identity starts dissolving, not through force, but through alignment, because the subconscious mind doesn't care what you want, it cares what you do consistently. And when you act from your future self, even in the smallest way, your subconscious receives a new message. This is who we are now. Identity updates. Behavior follows. Reality shifts. This is how ambition becomes evolution, not by pushing harder, but by acting from a different version of you. So here is your micro practice. Feel the future version of yourself, even for 10 seconds, even as a whisper. Ask, what would they do today? Do only one thing from that identity, not perfectly, not intensely, just deliberately, because one identity-aligned action rewires more of your subconscious than 100 fear-based actions. This is the beginning of internal alignment, where your ambition and identity finally move toward the same future. Now, in Part 5, we bring everything together into a crescendo, a cinematic awakening that anchors your transformation and prepares you for the life your old identity could never hold. You've reached the point where ambition and identity finally make sense together, not as enemies, not as separate philosophies, but as two essential forces that shape your entire life. Ambition is the spark, identity is the foundation, and without the foundation, the spark burns out. For years, you blamed yourself for not following through. You punished yourself for not being disciplined enough. You thought your dreams faded because something was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong with you. You simply carried an identity that wasn't built for the future you were reaching for. Now you see the truth. Your ambition was never the problem. Your identity just needed to rise to meet it. This is the moment where the old story ends. The story of the you who wanted more but didn't feel like enough. The you who dreamed big but lived small. The you who started strong but never felt safe enough to continue. The you who mistook fear for failure. That version of you was built in the past. You don't live there anymore. Feel what's happening inside you now. Your nervous system is settling. Your mind is expanding. Your identity is lifting. Your future is becoming clearer. Your path is stabilizing. Because once you understand how identity shapes behavior, how behavior shapes belief, how belief shapes emotion, how emotion shapes reality, you can no longer live unconsciously. You can no longer pretend you don't know why your life felt stuck. You can no longer rely on ambition alone. You can no longer wait for motivation to save you. Because you now understand the deeper truth. You don't rise by forcing yourself. You rise by becoming yourself. The real you, the aligned you, the expanded you, the version of you that your ambition has been calling toward for years. The future you is not imaginary. It is not aspirational. It is not symbolic. It is a blueprint already inside you, already designed, waiting for your identity to step into it. So take a breath. Feel your chest lift. Feel your mind quiet. Feel your power return. You don't need to push harder. You need to align deeper. You don't need to become someone new. You need to remember the version of you that old fear made you forget. Because your ambition isn't showing you who you might become. It's showing you who you are underneath the conditioning, underneath the hesitation, underneath the familiar fears your nervous system held on to for years. This is your moment. This is your awakening. This is you rising into the version of yourself that your old identity could never hold. And from this moment forward, you will no longer be pulled back by the gravity of your past. You will no longer fight your own wiring. You will no longer mistake fear for a stop sign. You will move differently, think differently, choose differently, show up differently. Not because you're forcing it, but because you're becoming the you who was always meant to rise. And as your identity elevates, your life will follow. This is your mind shift.